Alright, we got Doc McGillicuddy for this SCP. Another one that doesn't have a office page, which I believe is like the third or fourth one in today's reading. That doesn't have an office page that we can click on. But Doc McGillicuddy, they wrote Shop Class. It looks like another one that's a normal length size, so we are good to go. Here we go. Object class Euclid, special containment procedures. Because neither SCP-2197 nor the lot on which it is built are recorded on any official documents, the Foundation has been able to effectively assume legal ownership of SCP-2197 by purchasing the buildings on either side of it, the lots of which legally encompass SCP-2197's location. A small contingent of Foundation personnel have been permanently assigned to manage these properties, a small filling station with automotive repair shop and a 5-unit motor lodge. Civilian motorists lured into the proximity of SCP-2197 are to be intercepted by these personnel and given whatever assistance they require in order to leave the area. Once a week, a D-Class personnel wearing a remote surveillance kit is to enter SCP-2197, engage in conversation with Dash-1, and make a purchase. Due to the local residents' length of exposure to SCP-2197 and the habitual reticence regarding it, mass administration of amnestics has been ruled out. See Ethics Committee Report 901. As residents have observed Foundation personnel steering visitors away from SCP-2197, they have become increasingly accepting and even friendly toward the members of the permanent contingent. These social relationships are to be used in conjunction with monitoring of mail and electronic communication in order to identify and isolate individuals who pose an unacceptable risk to the containment. This one was called Shop Class, okay. I wonder what that means now. SCP-2197 is a one-story structure located in Maine. Oh, we're back in Maine. We just had one last weekend that took place in Maine. An unincorporated township between US Route 1 and the Atlantic coast. The words Anciano's Curio Shop are etched in stylized lettering on a large storefront window displaying what appear to be various second-hand goods. Individuals traveling by motor vehicle in or near experiences a greater than expected rate of mechanical difficulties, GPS malfunctions, flat tires, unexpectedly low fuel, and loss of cellular reception. Affected motorists frequently seek assistance in, and while delayed, they often enter SCP-2197 due to its location between the township only mechanic and its only lodgings. Residents of and the surrounding area do not appear to experience these travel-related difficulties and will sometimes obliquely warn those affected away from 2197. Foundation personnel briefed on SCP-2197 also appear to be unaffected by this phenomenon. Site 11's shamanic analysis unit has concluded that the effects targets only unsuspecting individuals. Let me read that again. Okay. Try the motor vehicles in the near. Okay, so after affected motor vehicles. Well, late often enter. Okay, so something's causing for them to stop near Anciano's Curio Shop, making them eventually enter it. Those entering SCP-2197 are greeted by a humanoid entity resembling a stooped elderly man in a leather apron designated Dash-1. The entity will introduce itself as Mr. Anciano, engage in small talk, and encourage the visitor to browse. If an individual expresses interest in an item, Dash-1 will speak highly of the effort involved in its manufacture and the good character of its maker, often remarking that he tried his best. Most items purchased from the shop display anomalous properties. Oh boy. SCP-2197 first came to the Foundation's attention when routine monitoring of Vatican email traffic flagged an inquiry from the Archdiocese of Boston on behalf of a parishioner who claimed that an antique doll she had purchased on a trip to Maine had been harassing her with ineffectual attempts to harm or inconvenience her. Oh, great, you got a haunted doll. Of course you did. The doll was retrieved and is currently designated Dash-2. It has proven capable of movement and vocalization, albeit with a severe speech impediment. Class B amnestics were administered to the purchaser, a parish priest, and the Archbishop of Boston. Somewhere on each item, typically the back, underside, or interior, is a single small glyph written in a hemoglobin-like substance, the design of which differs from item to item. Foundation linguists have concluded that the glyphs are backward rendering of the first, second, third, fourth, and sixth letter of the Aramaic alphabet. Some glyphs are appended with a plus or minus sign. The permanent contingent in has compiled a representative sample of items purchased by D-Class personnel from SCP-2197, see document 101. Show document 101 log of items obtained from SCP-2197. Okay, here we have a couple tests. Or a couple like items. Here we go. Let's see what kind of items we got. So we have -5. Description: a green Western electric model 2500 landline telephone, which rings from -1 to -6 times a month. Did I say -1 to -6? Which rings from 1 to 6 times a month, regardless of whether it is connected to an active phone jack. If an individual picks up the receiver, a staticky voice resembling that of a young girl will whisper, 7 days. Yes! The Ring reference! Yeah! Always down for a Ring reference. And the call will disconnect. Exactly 7 days later, whatever phone happens to be the closest to the subject will ring. If the subject answers, an identical voice will whisper, it's been 7 days. And the call will disconnect. No further effect have been... Thanks, I guess. Glyph Gamal minus. Can you imagine you get a Ring type phone call just for them to be like, call you back in 7 days, be like, yeah, it's been 7 days, okay. I'll be doing okay, but... -10. Description: an irregularly shaped concave object with several notches in its outer rim, apparently made of clay containing flecks of ash. An individual with a history of tobacco use, who has not consumed any form of tobacco since the last full moon, comes in approximately 6 meters of the item. A lit cigarette emerges from the atom and sits into one of the notches, with the filter side pointed towards the individual. The cigarettes are reported to possess an intensely unpleasant smell and taste. Approximately 65% of test subjects who smoked the cigarette required hospitalization for sulfur dioxide poisoning. In all such subjects, the traumatic experience caused an extreme aversion to subsequent tobacco use. Why does this sound familiar? Also Gamal minus in the glyph. But why does this sound like something I've seen, like a highly, like a cigarette that only like certain people were able to like smoke because it was like so toxic. -13. Description: a poorly constructed birdhouse with no known anomalous properties. Glyph Wah. Wah. Wow. Wow. Yeah, it's Owen Wilson's wow. -16. Description: a small antique desk lamp operated by a toggle switch at its base, with the on and off positions labeled. When operated by an individual unfamiliar with the lamp, the function of the switch is reversed so that the off position turns the lamp on, and vice versa. Once a particular user becomes accustomed to the reverse function, the switch begins to operate correctly. This process repeats each time the user forms an ingrained habit regarding how to operate the switch. It's kind of... It's like the moment you're used to it being on and off, switching around. You're like, okay, yeah, off means on. Yeah, that's fucking simple. Then you turn it to off and it just goes, it actually goes off. You're like, pardon? -22. Two unadorned 20 times 60 centimeter pieces of sheet metal, sold together as bookends. Each one has two 90-degree bends equidistant along its longer axis, forming a squared U shape, resembling 3 sides of a cube. When one of the items is picked up, it begins to grow in size, doubling in volume every 10 seconds, until it becomes too heavy or unwieldy for the subject to hold. Upon slipping out of the subject's grasp, the item instantly reverts to its original size. Holding both pieces at the same time, or fitting them together into a cube, apparently to produce no additional effects. $- okay, interesting. -25. A 32-page coloring book. The picture on each page is rainbow and/or unicorn themed. Any individual who fully colors in at least one page of the book experiences increased good luck thereafter, as confirmed by Foundation statisticians using a random number generator. Within a week of coloring in the page, the subject invariably meets an ideal romantic partner and enters into a long-term relationship. On both occasions on which D-Class personnel were used to test an item, an unusual confluence of events led to the subject escaping Foundation custody shortly before scheduled termination, along with a D-Class of the opposite sex, with whom the subject had recently formed an attachment. Wow. Glyph is wow. Great. D-Class got his happy ending. It probably was also the worst D-Class to get a happy ending for. It's like, shit, why him? Dash 27. An item which appears to be a normal wooden cuckoo clock, aged but in good condition. Until it is mounted to a wall of a structure owned by the purchaser, at which point it reveals its true form and cannot be removed shortly after demolishing the wall on which it is mounted. The cuckoo clock is made from a human head, neck and chest cavity apparently still living, with a brass pendulum and clock face. The lungs have been removed and the ribs spread to display the swinging pendulum inside the chest cavity, which has sharp blades designated to pierce the individual sides with every swing. The clock face is wedged into the mouth, the jaw having been stretched open to accommodate it. The eyes constantly dart about and grunts of pain may be heard from the throat. At the top of every hour, the pendulum and clock face rapidly heat to degrees centigrade, causing the throat to emit cries of pain reminiscent of the sounds of the non-anomalous cuckoo clock. The number of cries has been observed to be consistently appropriate to the hour being struck. Glyph a la plus. That was fun. That's a fun idea. Just basically an antique shop that's like different SCPs inside it. I like that. I like that. It's very akin to like, I forgot where it is, but like one like museum that has all the possessed items or like haunted items in it. It's very similar to that, you know. I would say it's like that, a collection of horror memorabilia and stuff like that. Yeah, no, that's fun. That's a good game. It looks like another SCP of mine came out on YouTube right now, and it's the help this old man die for real. Yeah, I think it was like an old man that just cannot die, and they're like definitely suffering. Let me double check if that's actually correct. What does my title say? Oh yeah, because like he's been like contained for like 15 years and he has not aged a bit, and all he wants is to die, but like the Foundation does not allow him to die. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. That one just came out on Dr. AfroFluff channel. For anybody watching the stream, not for anybody watching YouTube, because for YouTube you guys are, yeah, you're not gonna see this one until like February.